Hi, my name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and in this video I'll answer you if you should upgrade to the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE Fan Edition here. And I'll do so by comparing this phone to various other brands and makes. That could be Apple, that could be Motorola, and if you want to skip along, you can skip along down in the chapters here to find out your comparison with a particular brand. But first off, let me just ask you, what phone are you rocking right now? Please write it down in the comments because I really want to know who is thinking about doing this upgrade to this phone. Also, first off, I would like to tell you just my impressions with this phone after I've been using this in daily use for the last 3 weeks. So from my daily use of this phone, I have primarily noticed actually the screen. It is just buttery smooth. It's a 120 Hz screen refresh rate, and like everything you do is just super duperly smooth. Okay, and it just comes across as being like a top tier phone experience, a flagship phone experience you get from the screen. And it's also, for some reason, it's very bright. I test a lot of phones, and for some reason, always when I pick this up, it seems to have a more bright screen than the others. So I don't know why that is, some sort of pre-installed, predefined setting. The second thing I've written on my notes is that it's super fast. It's got the Snapdragon 888, and that chip just moves this phone along. You always come a long way just with a good chip. I don't know why, but if it's not self-explanatory, I told you now. It also eats away at the battery life. If you want to see another video I made here with a comparison with the S21 Ultra, actually, you can watch it up here, where you can see that it eats away at battery life when playing PUBG and stuff. So you got to take that into consideration. This phone will drain fast in battery if you play a lot of games. Another note I've just made on this phone is actually I think it looks very boring in this color. You can also see that in my unboxing up here where I talk about that, but also other useful things, of course, stats and specs. But you can get it in this olive oil color, and I just think you should go with that olive oil color because it's just much better, or the white one perhaps. So my own conclusion, as I've written on this phone, is that it is a sublime phone. Even though it looks boring, it just delivers. It's like an old IBM computer. Looks so boring, but delivers. And it's an easy 5 out of 5 Google stars in my book. And I'd like to elaborate on that because I know many American reviewers, they don't understand where does this fit in only a month before the S22 and 11 months after the S21. And I'll tell you where it fits in because if you live in Europe, you have the Exynos versions of the S21, and you're gonna get the Exynos version of the S22, and then maybe this phone will do exactly hit that sweet spot somewhere in between for many of you out there. Perhaps with the cameras at least, I would say, and also not overheating too much, even though the Snapdragon 888 is also a limitless grinder of battery. And there you have it. Let's get on with the comparisons with the various makes. First comparison, should you upgrade if you rock an iPhone? This is more a question of ecosystem, I would say. What environment do you like to use? So that's the first question you got to answer yourself. And then if I was to do like a more techish approach of this comparison, and also like I would say, just if you just landed on the planet, which phones would I prefer from Apple over this one? Then I would say this one, the S6 Plus, you should definitely upgrade from this one, and also from the 7 and the 8 and the 10s, and also I would say from the 11s. Then this would be an upgrade. But if you rock a 12 or iPhone 12 or iPhone 13, then this will not be an upgrade in my book. If you rock a Motorola, this is the Moto Edge 20. Then I would say almost all Motorola's will be, it will be an upgrade with the Samsung S21 FE, that's for sure, because I've not tried a single Motorola that, in my opinion, would be better than this one. Perhaps the Edge 20 Pro, I haven't tested that yet, so I can't say for sure, and also the Edge Plus, I would say the 1-year-old, 2-year-old phone now. I haven't tested that long enough to say that this would surely be better. But from my experience, I would say that this Samsung Galaxy S21 FE will beat all of the Motorolas out there, each and every one. If you rock a Oneplus, or a pixel, I would say. It again is more like a question of environment, ecosystem, because you know, it is nerds that really choose the OnePlus solution and also the Pixel solution. So I would, if you're more like a regular guy, regular Joe, then you will have to, then I would recommend you choose this one. Also, the new Pixel 6 has been getting so much stick from even seasoned reviewers, so I would not recommend the Pixel 6 over this one. I actually also reviewed the Pixel 6 myself, but this one, in my opinion, also take that with a grain of salt, will be better, right? And also the OnePlus 9 Pro, I would say, if you want a really funny camera experience, go for the OnePlus 9 Pro, but still, if you just want the most sure choice and the phone that delivers even better than that one, I would go for the Samsung S21 FE. So also, all OnePluses and all Pixels, this will be an upgrade. In my book, I know I'm gonna take some stick for this. If you rock a Sony or a Nokia, then you are what I would describe as a traditionalist. You know, you want some things you can trust, something you believe in, and something you followed in from a long time. Perhaps you even had this old Nokia N9, and if you did, of course, this will easily beat this one, right? Perhaps not anymore, but like when we go 3-4 years back, then this phone would still beat most, and this phone is from 2011 with the amazing Migo system on it. Okay, but that was just a side note. Every Nokia, this one will definitely be an upgrade. And I would also dare to say even the Sony Xperia Mark III, this would still be an update, and that's just because of the UI. Samsung's UI is just more elaborated than the Sony's, and I don't know why, not to stick Sony too much, and I know I'm also going to get stick for this, but they have just not developed this last couple of years. They've just stood still in my book. But again, you may comment on that, comment down in the comment section. But this is a better buy than any Sony and any Nokia. If you're on a Xiaomi or on an Asus, then, surprise, surprise, this phone will beat them. I would say almost all of them. And of course, this again is a question of what UI you are used to. If you're used to the Xiaomi UI, then of course, there are many Xiaomis that will actually beat this. The Mi 11 Ultra and the Mi 12 Pro, I would say, would probably beat this one. And the upcoming Pro, or the upcoming 12 Ultra will possibly beat this by some margins. But the reason why I put Xiaomi and Asus together is because I've written software bugs, and I know, but it is just, I've just found bugs in both the Xiaomi software and the Asus software, and it just isn't impressive, you know. So Samsung never has any software bugs in you know, their primary UI or anything like that, and all the apps always work. That's also a bit of the value proposition you get for buying a Samsung.
Samsung's One UI has evolved into easily one of the most stable, performant, feature-packed Android experiences out there. Samsung is promising 4 years of software updates for the Galaxy S22s after they launch. That's more than the 3 years of software updates that Google is promising, and makes them incredibly easy to recommend.
It's just because of that I would actually say go buy the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE over any Xiaomi and any Asus. And that's even though I actually love the Asus 8, and I also love the Asus 7 Pro. The 8 flip was the same as the 7 Pro. And now, when this phone apparently beats all other brands, then what about Samsung themselves? What phones from Samsung within Samsung does it beat? Does it beat the Samsung Galaxy A12? Yes, indeed it does. It does beat that, and it beats the entire A line easily, I would say. But still, I would want to give a shout out to the Samsung A52 and the A52s and the A72. Those are brilliant phones for the price, but this S21 FE just beats them. So what about the previous FE? This one, the FE 5G. Well, I'm actually making a comparison with these two phones right now. It was supposed to be this video actually. Will it beat that? Yes, it also will beat that one, and especially beat the Exynos version of this, which was a horrible phone. If I have room for any more cards, I will show that video to you up here or down in the description. A horrid experience. But the 5G version here, is much better. And yes, it is an upgrade from the old one. Even though the old one has got a slot for the SD card, I would still say this is an upgrade. I'm a phone reviewer and I actually normally never come in excess of 128 gigabytes. So unless I really shoot a lot of 4K footage, and then I'll just transfer it to my computer. So I think 128 is enough. And none of them has a 3.5 millimeter jack anyhow. So pretty useless in that regard. Just wanted to diss them a little. But it is an upgrade, as there is actually also 1.5 years between these phones. Of course, it is an upgrade. There's a bit of a difference actually in size. The S20 FE is a bit taller, but this one is a bit wider. So what about the super interesting question? What about the S line? This pequeño one is actually my daily drive right now. It's the S10e. And I use this because it's just small. It fits in my pocket much better than the S21 Ultra that I had, that I switched from to this one. So much better. Also, it has the 3.5 millimeter jack. It has even got expandable storage that I don't use, but it has it. And then it's got an okay camera experience. I would say that's the thing I'm most sad about this phone with. So in that regard, it's actually just a question of size, I would say, and this is the better phone. Let me just clarify that. So if you've got an S10, the S10e or the S10 Plus, this is the better phone. If you got any phone from the S20 line, I would also say this is the better phone, and especially if we're talking the Exynos version, this is the better phone. The S21 Snapdragon version, I'm not so sure, and of course the S21 Ultra is a better phone than this one. You can see my comparison of those two phones up here and down in the description also. The S20 Ultra, again, you should differentiate if it's the Exynos version or the Snapdragon version, because then this is better than the Exynos version. It just is. The Exynos 990 was a horrid experience. It was terrible. So even within Samsung's own ranks, this S21 FE 5G version beats almost everybody. And the last couple of companies I would like to mention are LG, Honor, Oppo, Vivo, Realme, and the rest I haven't mentioned. I haven't tested any of these phones, so I cannot compare them with this one at all. So that concludes my Should You Upgrade to the Samsung Galaxy S21 FE. My name is Brian from Denmark, your tech friend, and I'll see you in the next one.